I'm Morgan Pryor, and this is a gameplay demo called Magnum Opus. So we have our settings menu. We can navigate this here. We can choose to load a save file, but let's just jump straight into a normal gameplay experience. So here we have our crystal. This is what we need to defend, and we have our player character. We can walk around, explore the area. We can press tab to open our inventory menu. With a left click, we can start deploying some towers. Placing that tower there consumed 40 mana. As we can see in the bottom right, we only have 40 left now. And it also took up some defense units. Thanks to the text above various doors, we can know where enemies are coming from. We can start the wave at any point by pressing Q. Jumping forward to the action, we can support our towers pressing the F button to use our skill. We can see its cooldown and it'll deal damage to enemies. Not a lot, but enough to help out the poor turrets. Looks like they've dropped us some items. We can pick these up pressing E, and that'll go straight into our inventory. Now that we have some items to look at, we can hover over them to see what the stats on them are. We can click on them and equip them to our towers, so we can compare them and choose which one we'd prefer to have. This will make our towers stronger. With this strength, if we've got a lot of items, we're probably going to want to save it. Now, we are able to do this. We can name our save anything we'll like from the escape menu. Then we can go into our load menu and choose to load the save, starting a new game with the items we've saved. With powerful elemental damages, the enemies don't stand a chance. We've got chain lightning here, and fire backing up the other side, dealing some nasty burns. That sums up just about everything for the game, so let's move on to development. I chose to use the Unity engine for this project. It's what I know best, really. And here we have my prototype version of the game. I made all of this week 1, so it's definitely not much to look at, but it establishes all of the game mechanics that you'll expect to see from a tower defense game. Running into playtime here, you can see we can move around with our little player controller. We can place towers just like in the final version of the game, though a little less polished. We've got a older version of the towers, and you can place as many of these as you want. No limitation, no collision checks, just as many as you want. I didn't get the wave system working for this build of the game, but I am able to spawn enemies and they'll go to the crystal. During this week, I learned how to use a lot of tools, so I've got Cinema Machine here, very useful Unity tool, and I also used VFX Graph, and I learned how to use the lightweight rendering pipeline. But the bulk of the time spent really was just in programming the core features of the game. Moving on to week 5, so the game should be completely system complete here. The wave system's defined, the inventory menus are set up, skill menus have been created, though not used, and the game has waves, enemy AIs work, you have a tower placement limit, the pieces for a mana system has been set up, and items exist in the game now. You can see we have a new level here, and it's really just roughly mapped out to go for design flow. It's definitely not representing the final product. I just want to establish enemy density and things like that. We've got items here working. You can equip them. It doesn't reflect in the tower inventory, but they do work and equip to the towers correctly. The systems are there. And at this point, we also have supportive abilities, so if you press F, you'll shoot out chain lightning, and that'll do damage to the enemies. We'll have a nice little visual effect, though it's not complete yet. Jumping to the content complete version of the game. Now, you can really see the differences here, and what content really is. The game functions themselves, not many new things introduced, but I've worked a lot on putting together this level using pre-made assets. Been working on lighting, shaders that like make the low and high fog. Um, Also, I've just added content-wise in terms of items. I've added elemental damage at this point, and so there's fire damage and chain lightning. The visual effects are just much more improved. There are more towers that you can equip items to, so you don't have to stick to one set of items for a tower. From here, it really is just about making the build as UX friendly as possible. The game is, I've put a lot of work into making the game look pretty, and I've put a lot of work into making the game understandable, so you know enemies are coming from certain doors, they don't just appear from some unindicated area. Tell you how many are coming. Now, you'll see that I'm still working with red capsule enemies here, so clearly there might be a few things missing, but the focus from now on, from this point, is bug fixing. That's it. I still need to add sound and enemy models, but the priority really is just making the game as polished and user-friendly as possible. Moving forward from here, the game has seen many rounds of bug testing and is now published on itch.io. You can find it there, you can play it there, and you can even give me feedback. But in terms of this project, the game is now complete. The project was an incredible experience of learning. I got to work on a project that I was truly invested in, something that I got to design myself, and I pretty much learned something new every single week of work. I took logs of every single week, and these can be seen in my final report, along with the complete management of my project. Project management was also something I learned a lot about, especially weighing the scope of my project, because I definitely planned for too many features. A lot didn't make it to the final product. If I did this again, I would definitely tone that aspect down. Give UX a little more time to breathe. I'm grateful to all of the testers who playtested my game. It really helped me make it what it was. Without this feedback, I would have missed a lot of bugs, and testing things like game flow and enemy spawn density and health and speed, it's just hard to test, very time consuming to test it personally. I'm also more experienced with the game, so I know the systems and other people really don't. They really helped me, learn how to give this information to the player. With the end of playtesting, that wraps up the project, so I hope you enjoyed watching, and thank you for your time.